Well, France is our most important game. So we've selected the best 23 for this week. Again, the only reason we have a 1 to 15 and a 16 to 23 is because of convention. So a couple of guys' roles have changed within the team, but they're still equally important.
Why does Chris Hatchton get the start this week rather than finish?
It's just a different role for him. So he's going to start and Jack's going to finish.
What do you want to see from him in that starting role? Is it the fact that he's spent a year out in France and just give him a slight edge knowing what some of these guys can do?
Yeah, and we just got a gut feeling he'll be right for the start of the game and Jack will be right for the end of the game. Jack was absolutely outstanding for us last week. Absolutely outstanding. So it's just a different role for him this week.
And you went Courtney rather than Jack Launchbury to do that decision?
Yeah, well, again, we've got 3 good locks in the side. Maro's not far away. He was almost available for selection this week, but he's not. And we've got 3 good locks, and 2 will start and 1 will finish.
So Maro could be available for Wales?
Well, I'm always optimistic.
And were Shields and Thockenham both fit?
Both fit, yeah, again, pushing for selection, so we've got great competition, drives desire, and as I said, this is our most important game of the year, and we've had a really good preparation. We've had 25 players in camp competing hard against each other, and we've got 23 that are going to do the business on Sunday for us.
You were so on it as a group, physically and mentally last week. How do you go about maintaining that to get that level again this week?
We'll be better this week. I've got no doubt we'll be better this week. Last week was just a start. This week, even our training yesterday was of a much higher quality than we had in Portugal. I've got no doubt we're going to be better this week.
Eddie, the selection of Manitou Alangi ahead of Ben Teo, you said last week that Ben Teo would have been the man you chosen to start if he was fit. Is this just a selection decision based on the opposition this week?
Well, no, he's our best 12. Benny's back fit. We just feel he needs a bit more training to get right for the game, and Manu did a good job and will do an even better job for us this week.
When people talk about France being unpredictable, certainly to the untrained eye, is there enough sort of structure in them to be able to analyse them? What do you make of them?
They're a team full of talent. I think they've made 6 changes to their team from the previous week. So again, they rely a lot on individual talent, but they've got guys that can break the game open, and we just have to be very well organised and absolutely brutal in our defence.
Eddie, Mattia Bastro, surprise, surprise, is one of those changes, nominally wearing 13, may play 12, we don't know, but regardless, to talk to you about that battle against Manu with the 218 stoners, it should be pretty gripping. Centres don't play against each other, that's the reality. I think they play left and right centre, so it won't be Manu's responsibility to stop him, it'll be whoever's defending in front of him, and he's a good player and we'll show him plenty of respect, but I think we'll be able to take care of him. And under Jacques Brunel, we've seen the French, when they play the first half against Wales, can be outstanding. How do you prepare when it could be a slightly more unstructured game maybe than against Ireland in terms of their approach?
Yeah, well, all we worry about is ourselves, get ourselves organised. We've obviously had a good look at France, we know what they can bring to the table, but we've just got to be organised in our defence and have that relentless attitude to get after them.
And going back to Twickenham for the first time in this Six Nations, very proud record against France there, but how important just widely after a good autumn to be back at home?
Well, it's super important because it's our next game. It's the most important game of the year, so that's how we're treating it. We're going to be delighted to play in front of 82,000 fans, and I'm sure they're excited about watching us play, and we're excited to play in front of them.
Just a word on Jack Noel, you talked so much about his diversity as a rugby player as much as anything. What hopefully could he offer from the bench to you, given the fact he is such a multi-tools player? Well,
he's got a great work rate. He can fill a number of positions for us, and at the end of the game, that work rate's going to be important.
Owen, how are the troops going into it? How's it all been this week in terms of the togetherness of the group? It looks really, really strong.
Yeah, good. As Eddie said, we had a good training session yesterday. lads have been working hard on the field and off it to stay together. We're making sure that we're building nicely towards Sunday.
And you know Chris Ashton obviously well from his time at Saracens and well beyond as well. How's Ashley been this week, and how excited, and what might he do this weekend, do you feel?
Yeah, no, he's just been himself. He's been himself. Everybody knows what Ashley can do, and obviously he'll be excited for his opportunity on Sunday night.
And a word just on Courtney as well, a man who's always unlucky. He doesn't start for me, so I know he's chomping at the bit and hoping to put in a strong performance as well.
Yeah, of course he is. You know, he obviously gets his opportunity this week as with Chris. Courtney did a brilliant job for us last week, and he'll be looking to do it from the off this week.
Just finally for me, how much of a platform of England now set from Ireland, and how much better can your team be moving forward?
It's not about Ireland anymore. It's about us looking forward. It's about us. We've spent a bit more time together, which is brilliant. We feel like we're building and getting better the more time we spend together. But it's about us getting excited for Sunday night.
Anyone? Yeah. Oh, sorry. What's your experience of playing against France, and what do you make of them?
They're a very big team, a very tough team to play against. They can suck you in by playing them one way and then delivering in another. If you switch off for 2 seconds, they'll punish you. And they've got dangerous players across the park, so we've got to make sure that we're fully connected in what we're doing together as a group and ready for anything.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fantastic to be back. Obviously, when you're away and you're looking from the outside, you do really miss it. I've been lucky to stay in touch with the coaches and the players over the last few months, but you massively miss being around the squad day in, day out, and fortunately we had to do that the last couple of weeks, and good opportunity for myself this weekend.
And how good, I guess, to be kind of phased back in a way, to have been back in a kind of training squad and then work your way into a 23, if you see what I mean?
Yeah, there's huge competition at the moment in this squad, and that's fantastic across the board really, and certainly in my position in the second row. So I understood it was a case of me coming in, getting myself up to speed, and really trying to impress in training and put my best foot forward. But we're fortunate at the moment that we've got some real depth there.
And how intense is that training? How intense has it been this week with what lies ahead, and after what England achieved last weekend in Dublin as well?
Yeah, we've been really focused this week. I feel like we've prepared really well for the challenge ahead. Full respect for what's coming to Twickenham this weekend, and it's going to be a massive game. But for us, it's a great opportunity to be back at Twickenham. Myself, not been there for a long time, so really looking forward to getting back out there.
And the platform that can hopefully be set for England moving forward through this Six Nations and beyond, with a tiny eye on Japan. It's a massive few months for you to be back fit and pushing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously you can never really control injuries, but to get it out of the way, and I've come back and I feel really strong and fit. So I'm really pleased the way I've come back from my injury. But like you said, this game now, before a break next weekend, every game in the Six Nations is so important and so vital. So yeah, this weekend's huge for us.
You'll be alongside George Cruz, obviously, in the second row with no Marrow, and at some point, hopefully, and Courtney starting. Just tell us a bit about the dynamic of the three of you, minus Itoje, for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, we all have slightly different strengths, and we bring slightly different things to the game. But it's between the three of us, it's we'll be really focused on trying to put out sort of an 80-minute performance. So whenever I get a chance to hopefully come on and I've got to come on and make sure I impact the team. So that's what we'll look at. A few different. Obviously, I felt Courtney did that role really well last week. Came off the bench really well and really added to the team. So he obviously deserves to get that start this weekend, and hopefully I can do the same off the bench.
Not to mention the French as well. They've made a couple of changes as ever to their team, but guess what? A strong, powerful pack and some very tough operators that you'll be up against. Just tell me a bit about that challenge. Yeah, obviously been fortunate to play against both French teams and obviously the French national side a few times, and like you said, they always live up to the expectation in terms of a physical pack, and we'll expect much of the same this weekend. A few changes, second row, real good second row jumper, really good young player. So looking forward to sort of pitching ourselves against him really, and really getting stuck into them. An unstructured team potentially a little bit in comparison to maybe Ireland as well under Jack Brunel. Not quite sure maybe what they might bring to the table. I don't know. Yeah, obviously they're very set piece. They're strong at the set piece, so in that regard they're pretty structured. But if you kick to them, let them start offloading, then they really bring sort of that French
French style of play out. So yeah, we're going to have to, like I said at the start, be really respectful of their talent and their individual strengths.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Joe, what do you make of the performance last week from France against Wales? How do you explain what happened?
Well, we watched it as a team the night before our game, and really impressed with how they started the game. We felt that they obviously got into a really good lead and looked like they were putting Wales under a lot of pressure. Wales are struggling to maybe play out of their half and cause themselves some trouble. So, but after half time, maybe Wales got a few more opportunities, and France maybe a couple of decisions. But for us, it's a completely different game. We know France coming back to Twickenham will be looking into to put in a really strong performance. So I reckon their game last week they'll be frustrated with, but will have no real bearing on this weekend.
And do you think it's going to make them even more a tougher team to beat, since like a team with a revenge or a point to prove?
Yeah, potentially. I think, like I said, every game here is so important. I think you've got to really let go of your last game, whether it's a win or a loss, and you've really got to focus on that game at the weekend, because if you slip up once, it can be enough, but twice certainly you're putting sort of a dent in your hopes of the tournament. So them coming to Twickenham, I think, will be a big enough motivation for them.
And finally, how significant is playing France now, knowing they're not going to play against them in the World Cup?
Not really. I don't believe. I think it's obviously a long time to the World Cup. Sport, as we know, moves very fast. So the here and now and this weekend is all we're focused on, really. Cheers.
A little bit about your obviously Robson. Did most get off Memphis last week, but it's been working very hard, we know, to try and get his team. It must be good for you as a friend to see him on the bench concurrently. Yeah,
I'm delighted for Dan. He's probably been at Wasps one of our most consistent performers now since he arrived 2 or 3 years ago, and he not only in his standards sort of playing, but also sort of around the club, and he's brought that here. He's a confident guy. He's very confident in his ability, and hopefully this weekend he'll get a shot to play. I think he's trained well. I think he's really impressed a lot of the guys here. He's done kind of what we at his club knew we'd be able to bring to the international setup, and yeah, hopefully at Twickenham this weekend it'll be a fantastic way for him to make his debut.
Joe, is French unpredictability still a thing? Does that sort of have any bearing in your preparation for the match? And from your own experience, have you ever been forced or told by the so-called French unpredictability?
I think in terms of a front five forward, I'd say they're not unpredictable at all. I think they're very predictable in their strengths. I think in terms of their scrum's always very dominant. They always look to be very dominant at the scrum, line-out time, especially line-out maul. So in that regard, the tight five forward, they're quite predictable in terms of that being a real strength of theirs. But maybe yes, in unstructured play, if you really let them get their tails up and let them start to offload and do what they really enjoy to do, then that maybe that unpredictability can come. But for us, it's the defence and the hunger we had last week in terms of chasing balls in the air and working hard for each other. That sort of things is massively important for a dominant display against the French.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers.
Oh, it's feels fantastic, really good. It's been good to say, just been involved in the setup. I think the team, when I was last involved, has had a great sort of autumn series, and the Ireland game, everything, the momentum's building, and the team's really evolved, and you want to be part of a sort of side that's been successful, and just grateful to be here.
What, coming back in, I know it's kind of hard to quantify, but what's changed the most, if anything, for you over that period you've just highlighted with England's training?
As in me personally, or?
No, sorry, with England.
England. I think just the team is as I would say, sort of lessons and stuff. It's always constantly evolving. Eddie's always pushing things, trying to make things get better, learn from different areas. And that's what they've done. I think the training's evolved from sort of last time I was involved, and obviously the results are changed well. But it's every camp you come into, there's something new going on. Someone sort of maybe a new face or a new idea or something that comes in, and that's just every time. Nothing's ever the same. It's always constantly changing.
Which obviously is critical, and every national team has seen it, haven't they? Great runs, everyone has the odd blip, and it's about bouncing back and reinventing, I suppose.
Yeah, well, so you learn a lot about yourself in, I think, defeat and all that kind of stuff. So it's the lessons you learn, and what do they say? Like, loss isn't sort of failure isn't is final. It's how you change and adapt, and that's what I think good sides do that. I think Eddie and England have shown that.
So that's the philosophising on England. What about on Dan Cole? What's the new Dan Cole, if there is one? What's changed with what you've been told to maybe work on by Eddie in your game?
Yeah, so I was sent away in the summer, basically told to freshen up, improve in certain areas, which is around the field, second man ball carrying, that kind of stuff, being more effective around the field, and you work on this. You hope you get better at it, and but yeah, there's things you've got to do, and you'll be told these things to get, it's for you're told to improve for a reason, and sent away, and you do.
Well, you're back, so you obviously must have done it to a degree, hopefully.
Tried,
how
yeah.
do you feel that you are maybe an even more kind of multi-tool player at this stage in your career now?
I think it's probably just more game understanding and that kind of thing. You don't just have the set piece battle. I think the way the game is sort of, it's possibly moved away from the sort of, not moved away from the scrum. The scrum is obviously vitally important, but it's evolved into other areas of the game, and you've got to improve. And if you're not sort of, you might not be the best ball carrier in the world, but you've still got a clean breakdown. You've still got to be effective there and do stuff around the field. And you're always trying to get better and change. And as you say, we spoke earlier about standing still as a player. You can't do it because there's more than enough good players in England to take spot if you don't.
You just finished if we can with a word on France. You've had many an England-France battle over the years, so great that you're coming back for this one at all games.
Yeah, they're England-France are always tough games. They're good games. It's the sort of not say what the Six Nations is about, but it's one of those games that you get excited for, and there's some great history between the sides, and you want to be part of them.
And they've picked quite a combative team, haven't they? Quite a few changes. There's a lad I know playing in 3 who's supposed to be quite a unit, so it should be quite a good specific challenge for you guys with you off the bench as well.
Yeah, France they have always had strong forward packs. You say you look at the size of last week and this week and how they want to play physical, and they're a good set piece side. And when you do play France, you've got to be aware of that and try and nullify those threats. And to beat France, you have to beat their forward pack.
Good to see you back and good luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.